That's right. It's the Joes. Who? The Joes. Why? Because the people want it. What's going on, Dave?
Man, how's it going? I'm excited about it. It's mandatory camps have started, man. I love it. Getting some good news out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Going to start getting some more information. I'm definitely looking forward to that, man. All off season seems like it's been a long time before we had anything good happen, anything definitive happening. So we're gonna start getting some definitive news here. Start hearing about some of these rookies coming out and who's running with the starters and who's not. So hopefully you drafted well, right? Off
Yeah,
season, if you already had your
absolutely.
draft and some of your guys are going to be getting some big time minutes this season. Hey everybody, this is Ollie on the ones and twos, my main man Dave Allen. We're going to go ahead and go through the show today. Got a great one. Want to thank you guys for coming back as usual. Thank you guys for the support. Most definitely appreciate it. And we always want you guys to be interactive with us. You can leave comments here, like the video, subscribe. That means the absolute world to us. We want to continue to bring you guys free content and also help with your fantasy leagues. If you guys have any questions or situations, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We will get back with you. You can also reach out to us on Instagram, the Average Joe's Fantasy Football underscore between each word, and the Average Joe Fantasy Football podcast. You can find us there on Facebook. So again, love to speak with you guys, and thank you for coming back. Um, let's quickly talk about the listener league. We did have a couple of people drop out of the listener league. One guy in particular, I believe, just his wife said enough. Too many fantasy leagues. So, uh,
Yeah. Gets like that sometimes, man.
yeah,
It's just like that.
yeah. And I was telling you earlier, man. This year, I was like, man, I'm gonna stick to 4 leagues. 4 leagues. That's it. I'm not doing any more. And before the season starts, I'm already in 7. So no, it's like it just keeps going on, and we can't get enough. But I think I'm gonna stop at 7. 7's quite enough for me. I think you were in like 15 last year, weren't you?
Oh man, yeah. And I told myself I was gonna cut it down, and right now I'm in 20. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, man.
Oh
Can't help
man.
myself.
Yeah, that's too much. You can't even. Oh man. Hopefully some of those are redraft. You don't have to come back next year, do you?
One of them is redraft.
One
Yeah,
out of
two
19.
two of them. Two
Okay.
of them are redraft. Yeah, majority of them are dynasty.
Oh
But
man. Well, hey, listen. Fantasy football is fun. It's addictive, folks. So jump on in and get you some. Anyhow, man, how you doing this week, Dave? Everything good?
yeah, it's doing good. I think this week is kind of giving me jet lag. So I don't know if it's because last week was short with the
Yeah.
holidays. It seems like this week's just dragging along.
Yeah.
But all
Yeah.
in all, it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's flying by for me. It's just been a very busy week, man. Haven't had a whole lot of time to do much of anything. But as we said earlier, the show must go on, so we're here for the people. Real quickly, we're going to go ahead and jump into the show. We're going to talk about some news and notes. We're going to talk about 5 running backs each. I'm assuming we may have a couple that overlap, but 5 running backs each that were down on the season, that were not drafting as high as the ADP. And then we have a little situation we want to go over with you guys. I call it bros of a pros. So let's see what you guys think about the bros of a pro situation, and then we'll go from there. So let's start with the news and notes. The first story I want to start with, Dave, is the report about Todd Gurley. Just came out saying that he was not going to be used as a bell cow back anymore. And quite honestly, to me, that's not even really a story. I mean, that's what you probably should have expected hearing the news about his knee. Did that
Yeah.
story change anything for you about Todd Gurley?
Yeah, not really. Just because, like you said, I was already under the impression that we were going to see less work from him.
Yeah.
I thought that was the purpose in bringing Darrell Henderson in, purpose of re-signing Malcolm Brown and that of that nature. So for me, no, it didn't really change much for me. I think now if you were holding on to Gurley in hopes of hoping that there was going to be some news that could help his trade value go up in any way, it
Yeah, that didn't
definitely
happen.
didn't. Uh, so I think if you have Gurley, you're just going to be in a situation from now until the end. You're just going to have to hold on to him. You're not going to get value for him that you want, and that's just going to be the situation
Yeah.
with him.
And I mean, if he comes out week one and has a great week, and I expect, when you say they go from a bell cow to no longer a bell cow, maybe some kind of a timeshare, I think he's going from 85% of the snaps to 65, which is still fine. For the production that he gives you, he was in another stratosphere, maybe with the exception of Saquon Barkley and CMC, of most other players. So now maybe he comes down to, instead of being number one, number two, maybe number five, number six, assuming the knee holds up and he can effectively play that 60 to 65% of the snaps. I think he's still going to be fine. Number one overall, fine, probably not, but first round, fine, certainly. So I think you still
Yeah.
have a fine player there, and that you can snag Dorian Henderson. But that's another thing, man. And he probably should go in. I'm not sure. I don't think I have him over there, but he should probably go in 5 running backs that I'm not too high on. But
Yeah.
I heard in a rookie startup the other day he went 1.3.
Oh my
1.3.
goodness.
It's
Yeah,
getting out of control.
that's nothing to do with us. I think guys are now becoming. You have to be able to separate system running backs from just good running backs. Todd
Yeah,
Gurley is just a really good running back. So
yeah,
it's not to say Darrell Henderson is going to go into the Rams system. It's a good offense, but it's not the Chiefs. It's not a team that any running back can just go in and
yeah.
make something happen. But yeah, it is getting pretty ridiculous with the Darrell Henderson hype. And everybody is over. Even I was doing it for a while until you talked me into my senses. People are overlooking Malcolm Brown like he's just
Yeah.
been cut from the team.
No.
Darrell Henderson still has to fight for the number 2 spot.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And he's not that typical, 1 through 3 down kind of a back, or the first
right,
two down. I
absolutely.
mean, he's kind of a lighter guy. Not saying he can't do it. There are some lighter guys at 207, 205 who have done it and who are doing it. But if you have Malcolm Brown, who is kind of Todd Gurley light in that respect to his game, I think they probably use more of a timeshare between them. They need to spell Gurley and give him some rest. And it's just kind of funny to me because I'm starting to see questions about in the rookie draft. Oh, should I draft David Montgomery or Derrick Henderson? Like, to me, that's not
Oh
even
my
close.
goodness.
It's not even
Yeah,
close.
it's not a it's not a question. It doesn't. Even if you have Gurley and you're trying to get his handcuff, that's still not a question.
Right.
You still go Demo every
Exactly.
time.
Exactly. And you can replace Todd, maybe even replace Todd Gurley's production, not all of it, but a lot of it. I don't think, Henderson's going to come close to replacing his production,
Yeah.
even if Gurley is limited this year. So, yeah, I would
Right.
certainly still grab a Sanders, certainly still grab a Montgomery. I think the highest, if you're a Gurley owner, that you could go in a rookie draft and draft Henderson, maybe 1.6, 1.7.
7. Yeah.
Somewhere, yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere
I
in that
agree.
range. It's about as high as you would go. I would still take DK Metcalf. I would probably go Brown, AJ Brown,
Yeah.
and then obviously the big four that always been talking about. So we'll see.
You just gotta. You're gonna have to keep. You're gonna have to keep as a Gurley owner. You're gonna have to keep a level mind
Yeah,
when you're going into the rookie draft. Don't let the news and all the people, because I know if you're the Gurley owner, you've got people coming. Hey, you need this draft pick. I'll give it to you. So you gotta get. Don't let that get in your head. Stick to your plan. Stick to your draft board. Get what you need to get done, and you never know what can happen. You might be able to get Henderson. Things have a funny way of playing in fantasy.
yeah, yeah. Well, what you see in our league, I just made a trade. One of the leagues that we're in, I think we're in a few together. Just made a trade for draft picks for the Gurley owner of that league, and I have like 1.5 in the rookie draft for that league, and he has 1.7. And you see, he was willing to give me a second round pick to move up 2
Yeah.
spots in
Yeah.
the first round. I mean, I can't turn that down. Even though I kind of like my pick, I wanted to pick there, but I mean, I'm gonna get the second rounder just for him to move back 2 spots. And I
Yeah.
asked him straight out. I said, "Hey, I'm assuming they're going for Darrell Henderson." He's like, "Yeah, I got a couple of guys I'm looking at." I'm like, "Dude, you're full of crap." Yeah.
Right, yeah. You're going for Darrell.
Yeah, we know what
all
you're
right.
doing. It's all good. All right.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and go on. Let's talk about. It's funny to me. Lev Bell got jacked by his girlfriends. Um,
Say that again. I need let people hear that S on the end.
oh yeah,
Say,
jacked by his
repeat that.
girlfriends. There was a couple of them in there, and man, all I could do is laugh.
Yeah, no,
I mean, you keep that quiet. You don't let that get out. You let nobody know that you just got jacked by a couple of female acquaintances, what he's calling them.
yeah,
They took his jewelry, no respect. No respect. Took his jury, bounced. I mean, what were you bringing to the table to where it's like, we don't care?
Yeah, obviously nothing. This man went to go get some work in. Was going to say, hey, babe, both of y'all, I'm going to the gym. Be right back.
Right back.
No, I'm good. We're not gonna be here. Don't you worry about it.
And your jury is come with us. I mean, yeah, you keep this under wraps. You don't tell nobody, and you just get you a couple new girlfriends, and just don't leave your jury out no more.
And if you say you're this rapper or whatever, so I'm pretty sure you have a way of finding a way to get your jewelry back or something.
Yeah.
So like it's not like this should not have hit me in any way.
I suppose it should have. No, I'm not going to go there. I'll get ready to say this should have been a Shady McCoy situation, but that kind of got kind of out of hand last year. But man, no. Yeah, you keep that under wraps. You don't come. Oh yeah, they took my. They get no respect now. They just lost all kind of credibility. Anyway,
it's like they didn't care that they were in your house. Like they didn't even have that superstar effect on them. Like, oh, I'm with Lev.
Right.
They didn't care.
Didn't care. We're taking your stuff and we're bouncing. They treat you like they Debo and you Smokey and Friday. You better tuck your chain.
Right.
Snatch it.
What you got on my
phone? Right. Oh man, good. Let's move on to some more serious news. Jermaine Kearse did get signed by the Lions today. I feel like it's okay signing. I'm not sure if it's saying anything about. Well, to you, if it's saying anything at all, is it saying more about Marvin Jones possibly not being 100% ready to go, or their lack of faith in Amendola, or just a warm body for camp? What are you thinking there?
Yeah, I think it's just bringing in a veteran presence. At the end of the day, maybe somebody to just kind of teach or what have you. And I don't know his history as far as a blocking receiver, but you bring in a veteran that's going to be able to get out there and most likely block most corners, most nickels. And you've already established that you want to be this running team. You're saying things as if we could use 3 tight end formations or what have you. So I think it's a signing for not much as we're looking to use Jermaine Kearse as far as getting him the ball, but maybe throwing him in there for a veteran presence through camp. And if he makes the roster, nothing really much more than a blocking receiver.
Well, now he did play in a slot a lot for the I want to say the Jets last year. Do you see him going there and getting more run in the slot than Amendola?
I believe, and it might just be because Matt Patricia's there. I believe with his effect and his say so that they'll do everything they can to keep Amendola in the game over Kearse, especially in that slot role. Now, it's hard to say with the sign. I mean, they obviously signed him for a reason, So it's hard to really say, especially with the Cavs coming up. Maybe he gets in there. Maybe he plays a little bit. Maybe they said something about Amendola's injuries. We know that he was dealing with that with New England. He had some injuries while he was in Miami, so maybe he's not completely healthy. So it's a toss-up right now. I do, but if both healthy, I see Amendola playing more.
Good deal. Do you have any more news you want to talk about?
No, I believe we're good.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to our top five running backs we are shying away from this season. And I'll let you go ahead and start it off. Top five guys that were saying not to draft their ADP. This is not exactly ADP zero. ADP zero, we're bringing that segment out when the season kind of gets started here and we start doing
Right.
shows that is people we are absolutely opposed to. Ain't going to be on my team. But this is
Yeah.
more, hey, I'm feeling a little queasy about this guy. Not quite sure. So who do you got first?
Yeah, so number one for me is James. It's gonna be James Conner. He's going
Okay.
around pick 21. So you're getting around the back end of the second round in your 12-team draft. Uh, I'm not too bullish on
I
him right
don't think
there.
he's going that late. I think he's still hitting right at the first round, like
Well,
on the
see, and
turn.
that's right, and that's the thing for a couple of these guys. When I was going through, I went off of what their ADP says on Sleeper. Now in my draft.
Hmm.
The draft I've personally been in, he hasn't been falling there. I think
No.
maybe one he's falling there. So I think just I'm not lucky enough to be in those drafts. Because you're right, he's definitely going back first round, early second round. Unless you've got a couple people in your league that are receiver, and then you might see James Conner fall into 2.6,
Yeah.
2.5 maybe. But yeah, just going off of that, the people that were going around him from Sleepers rankings, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, Travis Kelce, Stephen Diggs, Keenan Allen. Other than Lev Bell, I would take all those guys over James. I'm not too high on the Steelers' offense this year.
Yeah.
I believe that I think that with Juju being the only threat this year, they're going to be able to focus a little more on stopping the run, stuff the box a little bit more. And I don't really think James Conner is that great of a
Right.
running back. I think that the system is very good. And so in my opinion, I believe the system might fail him this year, and that's the reason why I don't see myself drafting him that high.
I'm kind of on the same boat with you with him. I didn't have him on my list here, but certainly when we get to round one, the end of the first round, I see him there because he is going around that turn. I'd
Yeah,
certainly rather take a top end kind of wide receiver over James Conner.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not high on that either. Between the fact that Jalen Samuels may be a better receiving option for them out of the backfield. What we've seen out of James Conner at the end of the year last year, where he was hurt a couple of games, but kind of tailed off also when he was in the game. I didn't quite witness it myself, but just reports were saying he was dropping passes in games.
Yeah,
And possibly even cost them the game with a big drop pass, I believe, in the playoffs. So, yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. He can certainly have a great year. He is poised at this point in time to be the number one, but it's just something there. It's like a little cloud there. I just don't quite feel comfortable with. Now, of course, if he
right.
drops to the middle of the second round and I can start off Devontae Adams or Nuke, James Conner, I'm cool. That's okay. That's not
Yeah,
a bad start.
yeah.
But as my
And see,
number
that's
one pick, nah.
right. Yeah, and that's the thing with me too. If I'm taking James Conner, it's got to be at the end of the second round because I'm only gonna feel good being able to take him knowing my next pick is in like 3 or 4 picks.
Yeah.
If I have to take him and then wait a long time, I don't feel
I
comfortable with
like it.
that.
Yeah, good deal. My number one is Sonny Michelle. With what happened at the end of last year, he was on fire. And I remember trying to
Yeah.
trade for him this off season. I was willing to give a flex and 2 number 1 draft picks for Sony. That's how good I felt about his situation. And then the draft happened. And
Then the Patriots were Patriots.
the Patriots were Patriots. They say we can't possibly go into the season with 4 running backs. We got to have 5. So they picked up Damian Williams, and that I'm an Alabama. Maybe that's kind of a little bit of bias. I'm an Alabama fan. I watched Damian. I'm sorry, not Williams. Damian. She's Harris.
Hey,
Um,
yeah.
I watched him play, and he's always been a really good running back to me. And I think he's going to challenge for a couple. And he can catch the ball too. They don't think he's just a
Yeah.
big 2 or 3, first down, second down bruiser. He can catch the ball as well. And don't get me, I think Sony is above him in talent. Don't get me wrong, but I think that they're going to go back to that carousel where it kind of was a couple of seasons ago. I think we remember when we started doing the show that it was always complaining about how the Patriots would take Deion Lewis out the game, even though he was looking awesome. He's looking great. Like, give him the ball some more. Yeah, 10-yard game, 15-yard game. What the heck is Rex Burkhead doing? What's happening? Why is he in the game? Why not keep feeding this guy the
Right.
ball? Now, they seem to kind of change that a little bit yet last year, but I think that was because of a lack of options. And now they have Damien Harris there. I'm just really, really shaky on Sony. Not to mention that, but he's been out of training camp. He has not been
Right.
there much this year, which probably says for someone who's in competition for touches, obviously, something's wrong.
Yeah. No, definitely. Right. I mean, we've said it time and time again on this show. The only running back that has a solidified role in this offense is James White.
Right.
That's the only one you don't have to worry about. Everybody else, you never know who's coming in when or where. Yeah, and then a report came out today that Michelle hasn't practiced since May 20th.
Yeah.
So, that's coming up on a month.
Right.
And we would like to see you. We saw you had injured at the end of last year. We would like to see you coming on,
Right.
showing the Patriots that you're good, ready to go, and you're not playing. Damian Harris is impressing. Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
The only good thing, and if I haven't heard any updates in the last couple of days, I think possibly Sonny Michelle is in Damian Harris's ear telling him he needs to ask for more money because the Patriots haven't. I don't think they've signed Damian Harris yet. I don't think he's inked yet.
I think he's the last one that's signed. I do believe that's true.
He's like, yeah, man, ask for $20 million, ask for 20 per year, yeah, for 20. you
know what? You know what? Just for you, I ain't gonna practice. I'm gonna let you throw out. You throw out. Once you get paid, I'm gonna come back.
Yeah. You're gonna pressure him. Yeah, man. So something's up with that, but hopefully, it'll all be all right. I still hope the best for Sony. I do actually like his running style, I like his game, and I want to see him out there. But right now, I'm a little. He was probably at the beginning of the draft season, third rounder for me. Easy. Now, maybe fifth. I wouldn't even go fourth with him. I'd rather have a Derrick Henry over Sonny Michel at this point in time. I would go with Jacobs over Sonny Michel at this point in time. Marlon Mack over Sonny Michel. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sony, that's
a
hot take.
Oh yeah.
That's a hot one.
Oh no, it's not hot. You're just surprised.
No, it's hot.
No, I would go Jacobs definitely over. Who was challenging Jacobs for touches? Who?
The Raiders team is challenging.
That's. But he's going to have all the opportunity in the world. He's not going to be on a carousel. Yeah. Even if Sony comes back healthy, he's on a carousel. Nah.
Right.
Yeah, I'll take that. I might even take. This might be the hot take. I would have to look at Sony and David Montgomery really hard, if I had the choice between.
All righty then.
Okay, so which way are you going?
With the hot takes, man, we coming.
Which way would you go? You would go Sony over David Montgomery, hands down, no questions asked?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
All right. He hasn't been in training camp since 5/20. All right. Okay.
Hey,
go ahead.
Look.
All right, man. So who's your number two?
So number two for me is Nick Chubb.
All right.
And he's once again going off.
You're pissing people off right now.
Hey. Look. Just trying to help,
No, absolutely.
A little bit, make you think a little differently.
Right.
Yeah, the thing for me, he's going about 3 spots higher than James Conner according to the ADP.
Yeah.
And so you're getting him even earlier. You're getting him at the turn as well. If not, I don't believe I've personally seen Nick Chubb go first round, but
he's
regardless,
close.
He's going around. Yeah, Reg, exactly.
He's close.
And if you're drafting Chubb and only looking at future opportunity, that makes a little more sense to me. I can get on board with drafting Chubb, and you're looking at, okay, forget this year, or I can live with this year, but I think Chubb's going to do what he needs to do moving on. I get that. That's one way to look at it. But Kareem Hunt is still there.
Yeah.
And he's suspended for the first 8 weeks. And I was listening today, and I heard that it's going to be 8 weeks, and then they have a bye week. So Kareem Hunt won't play until about week 10.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that. Whatever. I can't draft Nick Chubb as a top 10 running back when, personally for me, I can wait on a Carry-On, I can wait on an Aaron Jones, I can wait on a Marlon Mack, get one of those guys who aren't really challenged, and throw those guys out there. If you're drafting Chubb, then it's one of two things. You're hoping he gets off to a hot start and you can trade him down the road around week 5, 6, whatever. Or you're hoping that Kareem Hunt moves on next year, which I think all of us are believing that's what he's going to do. He signed a 1-year contract. Nobody's expecting Kareem Hunt to get re-signed by the Browns, stay, and take over this job. But the matter of the fact is, whether Nick Chubb starts, even if he plays all 16 weeks, you have to wonder, A, how much does Kareem Hunt play when he plays? B, they signed him to 1 year, so they're going to use him as much as they possibly can. So does he end up splitting 50-50 when he plays?
Yeah, that's going to be that's one of the reasons I was low on Chubb. You have to love his production last year when they finally gave him the ball. You have to love it. I can see why everyone's high on him. And quite honestly, in our previous draft, we were just kind of talking in the draft we were in, and we're going to kind of touch around this a little bit later on. But he was one of the guys I would have been willing to draft middle of the second round. He didn't fall because that's how I know he's going a little earlier. He got scooped up. I think folks are in love with that production, and how could you not be? But yeah, right around week 10, you're going to see Kareem Hunt coming back, and you can't just keep him off the field. Now, do I think Kareem Hunt's going to come in and take over the backfield and Chubb's useless? Absolutely not. I think Chubb's still going to be the lead dog there, and Kareem Hunt's going to be that change of pace, great receiver out of the backfield. I think that's probably when you see if right near the trade deadline, they finally want to move on from Duke Johnson, who doesn't want to be there anyhow. They're keeping him now because they need someone to be that change of pace. But I think they're going to trade him once Hunt comes in. And they may try to see if they can keep Hunt next year. I don't know if they're going to necessarily move on. Again, the general manager there is the guy that drafted him in Kansas City. He's high on him. He likes him. That's why he went ahead and picked him up when he could on the cheap. And they may have to pay him a little bit next year, but I mean, we'll see. But even deeper than that, you have a insane offense right now. You got OBJ. OBJ is going to demand a certain percentage of the ball in his hands, certain percentage of the time. You're not going to just be a running football team and you have this stallion out there who, if you need to get OBJ the ball 8, 9, 10 times a game. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I think that is going to, and you have a gunslinger of a quarterback. I think you're going to see them be a little bit more pass heavy than we've seen at the end of the year last year. And then when Kareem Hunt comes back, now you're talking about decreased production there as well. So yeah, I can definitely see fading him a little bit. I'm on the same boat with you. He's not a guy that I would really want to draft, but once you get to that mid-second round, the running back option, as far as a top-tier running back option, gets kind of thin. And he's one of the last couple. You say, you know what, this guy's it. So, I like it, certainly. All right, number... Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, for me to draft, if I'm going to take Chubb, I have to take an established... My first round pick had to have been an established running back. I can't go
with him as your RB1.
Yeah, that's not going with all that. Too much spread now. It would be too much for me for him to have as my RB1.
Okay, so I'm assuming you would take Connor over Chubb though. Connor or Chubb?
Yeah, okay. I would. Yeah.
Okay.
I would think so. Yeah.
All right, my number 2 guy is Tariq Cohen. All right. I feel like he just completely benefited last year from Jordan Howard being the lead back there and not being able to catch. So Tariq Cohen was on the field a lot more probably than he ordinarily would be. And then in the offseason, they bring in 2 pass-catching running backs. Now, David Johnson is a true three-down back. He can catch the ball. They don't have to tip their hand anymore. He fits into the scheme there for Nagy. And then they also bring in Mike Davis, who was the pass-catching running back for Seattle last year. He was the guy that was on the field on third downs. Believe it or not. So both
Hold
of
on,
the,
hold on, hold on,
yeah,
hold on. Real quick.
yeah.
You said they have David Johnson and they bring in Mike Davis?
No, Mike Davis and David Montgomery. Did I say Johnson?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Montgomery.
Gotcha.
Right,
Yeah,
but he's
okay.
a three down. Sorry about that. No huge trades in the last 5 minutes. Nobody heard of. David Johnson didn't go to Chicago. No, David Montgomery. Sorry about that, folks. I have those senior moments, so you got to forgive me. But both of these guys can catch the ball, though. So I
Yeah.
think, even though I think Tariq Cohen's his role is solidified, I think you're going to see a little bit less of that this year. Now, perhaps that's going to be offset with the fact that the offense may be a little more efficient and they're running more plays. Perhaps, okay, now there's more opportunity to run more plays and more possibly. I don't know, but I just don't think he's going to finish as that. I think he was like RB20 last year. He was pretty doggone high.
Oh, yeah, he's very high. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't think you're going to see that this year, even though he'll be a great asset for your team. I think he's probably a round or two too rich for my blood.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I actually traded for him before, like, I think about the time as the season ended, I went and got Tariq Cohen, and I was excited. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah, he's going to be a beast next year.
yeah,
I love it. Mike Davis came in. I had Mike Davis. I said, I'm fine.
yeah. You're good.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Let
yeah.
me go get David Montgomery. I'm like,
Yeah.
hold on now. What are y'all doing? Chill out, So,
But it was interesting what they
yeah,
did. They paid Mike Davis. I mean, for the free agent running backs. Think of it this way: Mark Ingram, who was probably, with the exception of Le'Veon Bell, the hottest free agent running back out there. Mark Ingram and Tevin Coleman both got $5 million a year. Mike Davis got $4 million. Like, what is that? So they
yeah,
paid him for the free agent market some pretty decent money to come there.
yeah.
You think they're going to want to give him the ball or something?
Right. Yeah. They must believe what I think majority of us believe, even though we're thinking but don't want to believe that Tariq Cohen is not your three down back.
Yeah.
He just isn't. He's gonna be your scat back, and he's gonna like you just got done saying, he's gonna give you production, but he's not gonna give you the production you're drafting him to give
No,
you.
no, not in my opinion. All right, man. Who you got for number 3?
Number 3, and this one hurt, man. It's my favorite running back in the NFL, but Le'Veon Bell.
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
I can't draft you second round because, first of all, Gates. Let's just put that out there.
G-O-G, good old
G-O-G.
Gog, the Gog.
Yeah, good old Gates, God, yeah, absolutely. So that's number 1, and we beat that horse on here. So you
Yeah, you got to go back and listen.
everything we said, yeah, that is the reason. On top of that, I was going through and I was looking. I saw the Jets were ranked 7th worst in rushing last year. So I went to Jets.
Yeah.
What did they do to fix this? They brought in Adam Gase, who was 15th in the league. Like, that's awesome, great, appreciate it. When half of that was going to the backup, it's not like that was a bell cow in that situation.
Yeah.
Now they did bring in 2 guards to beef up that O line, which is great. That's going to be awesome. But is this the O line that Le'Veon Bell had, where
No.
he's this patient runner?
Right.
He's never been hit the hole, let's go.
Yeah.
He's been, I'm standing back here, I'm finding it. And we don't know if that O line's going to be able to give him that. He hasn't played football in a year. He's
gonna find it all right. He's gonna find the ground 2 yards back in the backfield. I mean,
right, exactly.
No, it's not gonna work. He's gonna have to hit that hole a lot faster.
Right, and your hope now is that he catches a lot of balls. That's your hope.
Should.
As far as running on the ground, it's not gonna be what you were expecting, what you're hoping to see. But yeah, like you just said, he should catch a lot. I think Darnold's going to do a lot of dumping off to him, unless they're going downfield to Robbie or Crowder, which I personally think is going to be in the mix. But he should catch a lot, but it's just not going to be enough production to get in the second round.
No, and speaking of, they have a lot of people in that short to intermediate range where he would typically excel. So you got Herndon, who a lot of people like as a tight end. He caught on this year or last year and catching on this year in drafts. You got Crowder there. Robbie Anderson is more of a field stretcher, but they also have Quincy Enunwa, who's kind of a mid to intermediary kind of a wide receiver. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the outlook is. The thing is, they paid him a bunch of money. They got to get him on the field, regardless of what Gase feels like or whatever. But I also question his motivation now that he's gotten paid. You know, I guess he's going to be motivated. He still has to get paid some. I don't know. Yeah.
And we already know going into this year, he's already said he doesn't want 30 touches a game. He's not one of those running backs that want all these carries.
Right.
And it might be that a lot of running backs don't want it, but Le'Veon is the one that has said it publicly. So like that's a different. I don't want to be used as this bell cow back. I don't.
Yeah.
And so as a fantasy owner, that's what we want. Like give me a guy that's getting 20 plus, 22 plus carries a game. And so it's tough.
So do you feel like T.Y. Montgomery might be a value, someone to possibly look at?
Yeah, I think you should. I wrote down here verbatim, say what you want about T.Y., but with Gase, he should not be counted out.
No, he shouldn't. He might get the Frank Gore share of the offense here. You never know, Adam Gase. The dude don't care.
Yeah.
He does not care, and even if he loses, he doesn't care.
Right, yeah. And T.Y. can be used almost in every way.
Yeah.
Let me say this. He's not the back Le'Veon is, but he can be used in the same way. T.Y. was a receiver turned running back.
Right.
So he can catch out of the backfield. He's shifty. And when he was running back for Green Bay, he had no issues hitting the hole. That was no problem for him. So
No.
I think you've got to be wary.
Yep. Good deal. All right, my number 3 guy is actually, you mentioned just a minute ago, James White, even though he does have that solidified role. I think he's going to catch a good number of balls. The situation, once again, kind of like Tariq Cohen, was just perfect for him last year. Everybody was hurt. Sony's hurt. Burkhead's hurt. Cordell Patterson is whoever is not really a running back. The guy they brought in at the beginning of the year, I think Jeremy Hill got hurt. So literally, James White is like the only certified, but the only true running back on the team, and he got a lot of decent carries. He scored more, like 5 touchdowns on the ground, I heard. He had over 100 targets. I just don't think that's going to happen again. Not when you got the full complement of running backs there, and people are going to overcompensate, because last year James White was available in the 11th round, and I do remember because I skipped over him and picked somebody else. But he was in there in the 11th round, and you got an insane value, so the market's going to overcompensate on him. And I'm not quite sure what his ADP is. I probably should have looked this up, but I think James White's probably going around round 6, 7, somewhere around there. And I'm not saying that's horrible value, but he should probably be more around round 8, round 9, in my opinion. Not 10 or 11, not double digits, but right around round 8 to me is just about right. But I don't know. What do you think about James White? Are you willing to pay up for him to get him this year?
No, and I just looked up his ADP, going around round 7, around 88 picks. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. And to take it a step further, Josh Gordon was dealing with suspension. Julian Edelman was dealing with suspension.
4 games, that right.
Right, and so you've got all these targets that, that's what you're relying on with James White is targets and catches. You're not relying on him to line up behind and run the ball. So you had the running backs hurt, you had receivers out. So James White was like top base.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm gonna get
who else?
You had Gronk. Gronk was
Gronk's gone, right?
We got to get it to White, and now you've got N'Keal Harry. So with all that being said, it's gonna be definitely overcompensation for White. A little bit of looking at last year, super excited, the wow factor of what
Right.
he did. And so, yeah, I cannot see myself paying up for White. I can't see myself drafting him in the 7th round either. At that point, I've got 2 running backs, 3 receivers, so I've got just enough to start. I think I'm going to pick up a third running back that's going to be used in
Right.
multiple ways over White in that spot.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think he's going to be a little bit too high too. But yeah, in our draft here, he went 6.7, so right around that 7th round.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's tough. All right, man. Who's your number 4?
So you've already said that I'm upsetting people. I think I'm about to upset them a little more. Philip Lindsay for me is the guy that and I was going through it. He's weird, so I was going through and looking at let's put some reasons why I don't want him. And I really, for a second, I was like, well, all this makes sense at where he's going. I mean, he's going at the beginning of the 5th. Well, his ADP is beginning of the 5th round. I believe most drafts I've been in, he's going a little higher than that. But I don't hate the ADP. At the beginning of the 5th, I think you can take him as your RB3, which isn't. I don't think that's bad. I don't mind Philip as an RB3, but I think I would move and look at a different running back later, and maybe grab a receiver there. And the reasons are, for Philip Lindsay, I think you're going to have to rely on his big play. Everything I looked at was when he had a long run, when he had a burst for like 20-something yards, then his production was crazy. Like, he just had a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Any game where he didn't have this long run, it was never – because he only got 10 to 12 rushes a game. I believe I saw one game he got 18. But he wasn't getting the ball a bunch. On top of that, Royce Freeman is their red zone back. We know that he was last year. He dealt with injuries. He's coming into this year healthy. He's going to be the red zone back.
And the feeling is Royce Freeman's going to get more touches just during the game period. And Lindsey is, again, one of those smaller guys. He's not your prototypical 3-down back. So depending on how the new coaching staff feels. Now, I think he's going to get himself in the game. Don't get me or you wrong. But again, that 4th, 5th-ish round. Yeah, I mean, there's okay. Let me ask this question: Kenyon Drake or Philip Lindsay?
Oh.
Let's take Gase out the equation because he's not there anymore.
Drake for where he's going. Yeah, I would take Drake.
Yeah, I think they're going right around the same area. Chris Carson or Philip Lindsay?
Carson. I'd take Carson.
Yeah.
And that was easier for me just because I know the Penny effect is there, but no matter what Penny does, I think with Pete Carroll, they're both going to play regardless, and that's a run-first offense. And I believe in Carson more, bigger back.
Yeah,
is going to be used in red. He's going to be used in whatever red zone, what have you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I believe in Carson.
And actually, I'm looking at and I'm really thinking about it. If I'm looking at a number 3 running back and I'm in the 5th round. Now, if you're in the 5th round, that means you drafted 2 out of the first 4 rounds. You've gone running back. So now you're looking at your number 3. Well, yeah. Not to mention if you try one of those situations where you go a tight end, or if you're really high on Mahomes, you grabbed him. Whatever your strategy is, but you would have to grab 3 running backs out of the first 5 rounds.
Yeah.
If I'm going for my number 3 running back, I actually feel more secure with James White. I feel more secure with him than I would with Philip Lindsay. I think there's a number of outcomes for Philip Lindsay. And we know, for the most part, what James White is going to do. He may not be as dynamic as he was last year, but you're going to get that production where you can flex him. You think the same thing. I just don't feel comfortable with him. I just don't feel comfortable. I mean, I don't know.
And then
I don't know.
He wasn't. Something that also surprised me, as much as we saw these big runs, I went to see his targets, his receptions.
Yeah, he didn't catch the ball.
He did it. They just didn't. It was 3 catches a game or something. So that part is gone. Joe Flacco is a tight end. He throws that's his tight end love.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
Flacco does, and so you can put that to bed. You can, or maybe not to bed, but you can, when you're looking at Philip Lindsay and comparing to someone else, him getting more receiving, more targets, or what should not cross your mind, because it's not
Not
going
gonna
to
get it.
happen. So,
Okay.
yeah, going on the ground, yeah, he's going too high for me.
Absolutely. All right, my number 4 guy is Devonta Freeman.
Oh,
I just don't know about his health. I mean, he was on the
yeah.
show with us last show, Dave, and he told us 2 games.
He
That's
did.
it.
Yeah. Well, yo, he did.
He did.
Say that.
Say he's going for the movies. He got a new commercial out. You know, he's spreading his wings a little bit when it comes down to the acting. He wants to go do a movie with The Rock. He's the 2 games and he's done. So I'm totally away off him. Listen, if you invest in Devonta Freeman, definitely make sure to go out there and get yourself some Edo Smith. Now he's starting to climb up the draft boards a little bit. He's starting to sneak into that third roundish area. Our last draft we went 4.9, but I'm seeing people draft him pretty high in the third round. I heard I listened to the footballers. They said they would be willing to draft him in the third round. Not me. I don't like him.
Yeah,
I don't like
I
his
couldn't do it.
no. I don't like his injury history. Derek Cutter is not good with running backs. We've seen what he did there in Tampa Bay with his running backs. Very inefficient. And it could come down to a little bit of talent, but also, I mean, look at other offensive coordinators like Reed. It doesn't matter who's in his system. You know, we can make it work. So yeah, no, I'm totally off Devonta, especially after hearing him tell us 2 games and that's it.
And that was word of mouth, so it don't
Yeah.
get no better than
Yeah,
that.
that's straight from the horse's mouth, fellas. All right, man. Who's your
Yeah,
last guy? Or you got something else on Devonta or not?
yeah. No, I was just gonna say, like, I mean, we talked about it early in this off season. I brought up when Derek Cutter was there before, what the passing offense did, and that's what I believe they're gonna go back to. I think you're gonna be more excited about the passing as opposed to him on the ground.
Gotcha. Who's your number 5 guy?
Whew, number 5, man, Damian Williams is
Whoa.
it's his 80. Now I've seen he's been going second round, like, and
Wow.
it's not first round. Like,
Yeah.
people are taking him, and with the Chiefs, and I understand, I get it. When Kareem Hunt did this, and Damian Williams is the Chiefs is just the offense with Patrick Mahomes and da 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 da. Great, I get it. You can have him. Thank you. I'll take somebody else in the second round. I really like. For me, I don't think, and this is my thought process on it. Damian Williams in redraft, maybe. I might look at him second round, or I really will. His production moving forward, I really, really believe the Chiefs look elsewhere. If not in 2020 draft, then, maybe a trade. Like, they're gonna bring someone else in. I also, that report of the offensive coordinator saying he's our starting running back. That's all fine and dandy. That doesn't mean he's the bell cow running back. All that means is that he will be
On the field the first snap?
Right. He's taking the first snap of the game. So I don't, and it's hard for me to think that they brought in Carlos Hyde as just insurance. For them to bring him in and just say, we have a guy that if Damian Williams gets tired, we can throw him in a play or two here. I think he's going to play a little more than people think he is, and I think that the Chiefs. The big thing for me is the Chiefs moving on from Damian Williams after this year.
Yeah, it's hard to trust him in regard. Like you said, for 1 year, I think he's going to be pretty good. Second round, no. Even in the third round, you're like, wow. I mean, if I had the choice between him and Marlon Mack in the third round,
it's easy.
Probably go look Mack.
Yeah.
But I could very well see a world where Damian Williams outperforms Matt this year as far as production is concerned. I could see him outperforming an Aaron Jones as far as production is concerned. The question is the long-term viability of Damian Williams in a dynasty league. I don't know. It's tough. It's very tough to call. I think I'd be willing to pull the trigger in the third if like you kind of said before, gotten that bell cow somewhere in the first couple of rounds.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's just that's really what it comes down to. In no way am I or Oli saying that Damian Williams is not going to be productive this year. What we're saying is him moving in a dynasty league, you're entrusting your second round pick to a guy that might be good for just 1 year, and that's just too much capital for a rental basically at this point. So, but if you can draft him and feed off of his energy and send him away later, by all means, But that's if you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, round 2.
Let me ask this question here then. Let's say you start your draft off with two really, 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 really good running back, wide receivers. Let's say Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, 1-2. Would you then be comfortable taking him in the third? Let's say Marlon Mack is gone. Fournette, Williams, or Aaron Jones.
I would Aaron Jones for me. I would take Williams over Fournette. I would do that, but I would have to. I think I would go towards Aaron Jones, and that's just out of pure hope that the Packers see what all the fantasy owners see.
Yeah.
That Aaron Jones is a beast and he's the best back there.
Yeah.
And I think that Aaron Jones, and you are really the person that's got me on this train, can be very, very special. And with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I love Aaron Jones. I think he's one of those guys who is a little smaller though. He's around, maybe just a little bit. He's bigger than Philip Lindsay, but he's like 210, something like that. And I don't know. I think they're going to.
He runs hard though.
He's an all right runner. He can handle the first and second down. We'll just have to kind of see what they do. It sounds like they're going to kind of do a split, maybe a 60-40. And that should be okay. That should be all right for Aaron Jones. He's a big play guy. He'll break one every game. I like it. All right, man. My last one here, so we can go ahead and move on, is any San Francisco running back. Not doing it. Any of them.
Oh, that was great.
Maybe if you ask me which one would you draft first, it would be Coleman. Maybe around that 8th roundish, which means I probably won't get him.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Even at that, you're still like you're wincing at the computer as you hit the draft button. Right. Even at that.
Right.
Point.
Yeah. So no.
So let me ask you,
better.
as a 49ers fan.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed this. When did Tevin Coleman just become the because I feel like every other owner knows that he's the starter over McKinnon, and I was still sitting here thinking we don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't think we know if he's the starter. I think we know that he will probably be the most productive because he's familiar with the offense, B, he's familiar with the coach, and he can be used in a plethora of ways, so to speak. And then C, just, we're fantasy folks, and human. We go by what's been most recency bias. He's been the only running back in camp. Everybody else, Mostert's still dealing with his arm. McKinnon hasn't started practicing yet, or at least full time on the field, and neither has Breida. So you see Coleman out there taking the snaps. You feel like he's kind of going to be the guy. But I think he will probably be the most productive because he can do just about everything. Even though I don't like his running style, he just runs way too straight up for me. Like, we mentioned this one time before. If there's a hole there, boom. I mean, lightning in the bottle, you ain't going to catch him. But if he has to get that Frank Gore 2 or 3, he ain't getting the Frank Gore 2 or 3.
Yeah, no, yeah.
He don't look like he's running hard. No, but I'm staying away from that backfield, man. All right, man. Now let's go ahead and move on. We've been running about 15 minutes now, and we gotta talk about a situation here, and I think this would be good for our podcast listeners, and it's going to be good for us too to go ahead and get it out and talk about it a little bit. So I'm going to start it off. I'm going to give a little preface here, a little set the framework, and then I'm going to let you finish it up, and then we'll have the conversation. So this is bros over pros. Bros over pros. So we're in a draft together, in the league together, and we're drafting, of course. And inevitably, you may come across, because we spend a lot of time on the phone together going over players and whatnot, someone that your friend likes, right? Now, this happened very early in the draft for us. Okay, what happened? We're in the league that we're in is a 5-year dynasty league. Okay, so we're in the league. Well, you may be in the league for 5 years. The lowest 2 point totals at the end of the year get cut, and then you go for it from there. Then so next year will be 10 teams. The year after that it'll be 8 teams. So it's very very competitive in that way. So you got to win. Now, also in this league, because of the nature of it, um, players who can keep their superstar status, their superstar production for 4 to 5 years have a premium on them. So you're more than likely looking at your wide receivers. Why am I saying that? So we're in the first round, and if you've listened to any of my podcasts, you know who I love. Melvin Gordon is my guy. He's my favorite outside of San Francisco fantasy player in the NFL, hands down, bar none. Him and Devontae Adams probably got a tie. Now I'm in the first round. I'm in the 8th slot. My boy is there, and so is Michael Thomas. Now I'm thinking here with his injury history, which is not a big injury, but a little bit of injury history. I'd rather go with Michael Thomas because he has the best shot to keep the production up for 5 years. And I've been seeing Melvin Gordon slide. Now, I was hoping to get Melvin Gordon to come back around at 2.5, knowing full well there was probably about a 90% chance that would not happen. He would not slide, and somebody would take him. Here's the issue. My boy took him. That's the problem. Now, we're going to compound this issue and go a little bit further. Not only did he pick him, but he said, on this very podcast, go back a couple of episodes, he said he was at work, a little busy, but at work, knew it was his turn to pick, waited for me to text him that he was on the clock. So I would be watching as he selects my favorite player. Is that not an accurate statement? Is that
Verbatim.
Thank you. Okay, so it's an accurate statement. So moving on in the draft here a little bit, we're getting kind of thin in the draft. We're in round 20, somewhere around there, and Keelan Cole comes up. Now I know Dave loved Keelan Cole. I had my eye on him. I said, you know what? I like Keelan Cole, but there's a couple other guys I like just as much. I skipped over Keelan Cole from my boy. Didn't pick him up because I know Dave likes him. I let this happen for 2 rounds. And I even texted you. This is a true statement again. Dave, if you don't pick up Keelan Cole, I'm going to snatch him. And thank goodness Dave went ahead and took him. Now, I'm going to let you pick it up from here because we have one more player to talk about. What happened?
Yeah. So, yeah, we're moving along. Things are fine. You know, we kind of hashed
Things are thin. There ain't nothing out there. We're around 23.
Yeah. We're literally just opening. We're not paying attention to the draft. We're opening up, picking a player, closing it, watching TV. So yeah. So we're going on, and I go. You know, I'm late night, getting ready for bed, just checking up on my Philadelphia Eagles, seeing what's going on in camp, and I hear, you know, rumors and good things about Boston Scott coming into camp. He could replace Darren Sproles. He's got that factor. He could be, you know, he won't be as productive as Sproles, but he could be that guy for the Eagles. So, you know, I go, and like Oli said, we're in a couple of leagues together, and I go and put in a couple of waiver claims for Boston Scott in a few of my leagues, and my pick's coming up, and I believe it was the 21st round. So I'm thinking.
So now you picked up Boston Scott in a couple of leagues we're in. That happened. Okay, go ahead.
Right. Yeah, I picked up Boston Scott in one of my leagues, and then the waivers in one of the leagues me and Oli are in went through it like 6 in the morning or something crazy. I wasn't expecting to go that early, but he saw that I picked him up in that league and another league. He saw that I got Boston Scott. So obviously that's what I'm going for. Now Ollie's on the clock, right? 21st round. Boston Scott's super far. You have to scroll to see Boston Scott and think, you know what? I'm going to take that guy. You have to really scroll. So I'm thinking 21st round. There's no way anybody snags this guy. So I'm working, just working. I'm going back. I'm looking. I'm saying, I'm not even worried. Like, nobody's gonna take my guy. I happen to look for my phone vibrates, and I look, and I didn't see Boston Scott's name. I didn't see who picked him. Nothing. I just was shocked that I saw Boston Scott's name. So I go in, who on earth did the research that I did? And Lord and behold, one, two, three.
Revenge is a dish best served cold.
I said, you got I immediately went into the game, into the chat, and had some words.
It was hilarious. Now, my boy Dave don't do a lot of cussing as far as I know, but all I see in caps is F you.
No, look, now it wasn't no ha at the end. It wasn't no laughing.
No, it was serious. He was hurt. He was cut.
Yeah, to everybody else in the league that don't know me and Ollie know each other, they're thinking, what is going on?
Oh man. So I took Boston Scott. But now here's the thing. When I asked you about Melvin Gordon, you said, look, Ollie, he was the best running back on the board at the time. I know it's your boy, but I'm in it to win. I gotta get my guy. I gotta get a guy. He's a bell cow back. I'm gonna take him. And I had to take that. I didn't complain too much. I just text you, man. It was MAAAN. Man, he got my guy. At the 21st round, there was nothing there. So I did see the reports. I just didn't pay it too much attention. Now, I know you're a Philly guy. So once I seen you picking them up in other leagues, I was like, oh, let me go check this out. And he was there. What am I supposed to do, Dave? I'll let you have Keelan Cole. I'll let you have Keelan. So here's what we want to know, folks. Please drop us a line on this one. Did I violate or not? Was I within my right to go ahead and pick up? Yes, Dave was the first one to start picking him in other leagues, and I did see it in other leagues. Was I within my rights to go ahead and pick him up, or did I violate the bro code? Let us know. Drop it in comments. Definitely interested.
I need to give one more detail.
Go ahead.
Detail to the story. After he drafts Boston Scott and I express my anger, he then DMs me and tells me he'll give me Boston Scott and a second-round pick for Melvin Gordon.
If you like him that much.
That was supposed to be his friend discount. He was going to do that to me. That was for me. I need y'all know that as well when y'all are if he broke code.
Hey man, I was going to help you out. You like your boy Boston. I like my boy Melvin. So let's just go ahead and talk about Oh man, it was hilarious, guys. It was hilarious. It was fun. But hey man, we've been going for about an hour now. Please drop us a line. We got to know what you guys think about that. If you don't have anything else for today, for the people today, I'm going to let them go.
Yeah, we're all good, man.
All right. As usual, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Enjoy your football. Have a great week.